Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Akhtar Titi. Let's start with the introduction part first. We all know that mobile technology, the internet, and social media have become societal phenomena, particularly among young adults between the ages of 18 and 29, generally known as the millennial generation. If we see it from the world perspective, social media's growing relevance is evident. Wikipedia, which was founded in 2001, now has over 13 million entries in 200 languages. Facebook, which was launched in 2004, connects approximately 300 million people all over the world. The other social media sites are Instagram, Twitter, MySpace, etc. Ever since the introduction of the internet in Malaysia in 1987, social media have been running at its own pace similar to other countries. The main users of social media in Malaysia are found to be the youth. Our objective for today's presentation is to analyze the usage of social media among Malaysian youths. The next objective is to examine the possible effects of the usage of social media among Malaysian youth. That means we will talk about some of the challenges or bad effects that the Malaysian youth face while using social media. Last but not least, we are going to discuss about the opportunities for the growth of social media among Malaysian youth. We will talk about how we are going to overcome some of the challenges, also some aspects on how to improve social media usage among Malaysian youths. Few common social networking that I would like to talk about are YouTube, WhatsApp, and Facebook. YouTube, the number of users in Malaysia is 94%. WhatsApp, 92% are the number of users from Malaysia. Facebook, the number of users who uses via phone are 84%. The laptop and desktop users are 0.6%, and the rest is 16% people who use from both phones and computers. Some of the online activities are the social and political concerns which are on the internet or the blogs. We can search for online information like self-improvement material, DIY, do it yourself, and assignment help. We can even do online shopping such as purchasing airline tickets or making reservation for hotel rooms. We can even post current events via social media sites such as LinkedIn and Facebook.
Uh, Assalamu alaikum. I am Muhammad Ahmad Rahman Mahdi. My metric number is 1828313. I will talk about challenges regarding social media. The first challenge which the youths of Malaysia face is social media addiction. The initiating factor for social media addiction is when people use social networking sites as a medium to reinforce relationships. Right now in Malaysia, Facebook and Instagram has become significant medium for peer-related communication and self-representation. These two social media app has since become a social stage for a person's social behavior as well as its activities being closely related to narcissism. Also, in psychologists' point of view, people who uses social networking sites excessively are closely associated with addiction symptoms such as neglection of personal life, mental preoccupation, escapism, mood modifying instances, weak tolerance levels, and a habit of concealing their addictive behavior. The next point is that social media addiction leads to narcissism. The primary goal of the narcissist is to obtain admiration and commendation from their audience in the form of shares, likes, comments, repins, or thumbs ups. Among Malaysian youths, narcissists develop multiple tactics to regulate their self-esteem on specific social networking sites like Facebook, Instagram, by posting messages or posts which can get a desired emotional outcome out of the audience. For example, calling for fake donations. On the other hand, two growing issues among Malaysian youths are FOMO and Nomophobia, where FOMO or fear of missing out means a pervasive uneasiness that others might be having rewarding experiences from which oneself is absent. Let me explain it using an example. For example, if a yet sees his or friend gaining fame and money through social media, then he himself will want to start doing that. He will not care about being a narcissist. On the other hand, nomophobia, which is defined as no mobile phone phobia, is a fear of not having your mobile phone around. Nomophobia could lead to problems like regularly checking social networking sites on phones and ignoring friends and family, and as a result, it will lead to feeling of anxiety when your mobile devices are not available. Next is the social media disorder. It means compulsive online behaviors which arises from excessive internet or social media use, or more commonly known as social media addiction. The youths of Malaysia are prone to severe effect resulting from its use, which may affect their personal, social, or professional lives. According to some researchers who did some field study, some of the disorders associated with social media are withdrawal from people, tolerance, deception, conflict, escape, and displacement. We are going to take a look at some of the disorders accordingly. The first disorder that I'm going to discuss is withdrawal from people. Withdrawal is defined as an experience where there is an absence of contact with other people. It can also be defined more intensively on a person who rejects contact with people who provide them with social and moral support. That means losing contact with friends and family. The researchers have found that the person who experiences social withdrawal may not make known of his loneliness to someone else even when they lack friendship. There are a lot of studies conducted which show that the use of internet, or rather social media, contributes in increasing social withdrawal and loneliness. And also youths of Malaysia are reported to experience higher rates of loneliness and social withdrawal. For example, before people used to gather with their family and talk about their daily lives, but now after their days of work, they're found rather busy with their own things like social media. The next challenge we're going to discuss is deception. So, what is deception? Deception in case of social media is defined as a calculated act with the purpose of misleading others into believing that such a false act is real, and the motive is to transfer the false belief to the person being deceived. So, in today's social media, most of the things that we read or write is either text-based and it's done asynchronously, meaning deceivers would have a greater advantage in altering content to their liking to deceive others. The next point is assessment signals are harder to imitate than conventional signals. So what do we mean by assessment signals and conventional signals? A simple example would be if an elderly person wanted to look younger, they would simply dye their hair and dress stylishly to produce conventional signals. On the other hand, assessment signals are, however, harder to fake. For example, faking an identity card. From a social media platform perspective, most of them does not require assessment signal. That means most of them does not require any ID card to be mandatory for sign up. So it is relatively easier for a person to achieve deception, for example, by switching genders and name. Besides, there are other kind of deception like making false propaganda in case of, for deceiving others and earning money. The final challenge that we are going to discuss is escapism. So the term escapism can be defined as an intent to withdraw from self-awareness. Examples of escapism can be seen where an individual indulges in activities such as uh, watching television, internet surfing, watching TV series, movies, reading magazines, reading novels, shopping, with the sole purpose to avoiding the temporary undesirable truths of their current stressful life. This can also be seen when people does not meet the standards, demands, or expectations set upon them. They just simply attempt to escape. In another term, individuals indulge in a mental alteration, which is devised to eliminate their bad or irritating thoughts and feelings from awareness in order to escape from unpleasant thoughts and feelings. The reason to why social networking sites has been popular this far is because they provide a helpful environment in distracting the user's mental state from their daily troubling and anxiety causing routines. One of the reasons Malaysian youth spend more time on social networking sites is because of escape motivations. One research found a compelling relationship between the amount of time a person spent on the internet and their social escapism motivations. Media sources is often the go-to source for entertainment seekers, primarily to escape from the individual's real life.
So in this part, I will describe loneliness causing by social media. So what is loneliness? Loneliness is a feeling. We know this feeling as loneliness. It's an unpleasant emotional state defined by inconsistency in one's desired and experienced degrees of social contact. It is a very common phenomena for social media users. With the advent of social media, the internet has become a thread in our life. Users spend as much time online as offline. In fact, they spend more time online, and because of it, they cannot express their feelings properly, and this causes them loneliness. Young people feel substantially more loneliness following internet interaction than face-to-face conversation. They feel more confident making conversation through online. So they often become socially unavailable. Online time substitutes offline time. I mean, with friends and family, we don't spend as much as time with offline. Reducing it causes reducing our friendship quality, and also it causes us loneliness whenever we try to live in the offline world. So there's a study named Displacement Hypothesis says on social media use social me- by using social media it causes more loneliness than ever. Assalamu alaikum, my name is Saidul Islam and my matric number is 1828295. So here I will discuss three major parts, which are social media and youth well-being, opportunities for the growth from social media, and a challenge called loneliness from social media. So social media and youth well-being. So social media is now a part of almost everyone's life, but our young people who grew up with technology use it the most. It has become an important part of our lives and has a lot to do with our mental health. So we need to try to figure out how it affects our mental health, especially the mental health of young people. People between the ages of 16 to 24 are most likely to use social media. And also, social media has described as more addictive and than cigarette and alcohol or maybe drugs. Once you get addicted to it, you will lose the time management and often feel exhausted after long hours of social media consumption. It also causes anxiety and depression. Nowadays, we often hear about cyberbullying. So, and it's growing um, with more than like 7 out of 10 people saying they have experienced it. Also, uh, it causes certain problems to our mental health issues. Uh, uh, but social media is not just door to health. It also very useful for our youth's well-being. For example, social media can improve young people's access to other people's, so they can choose their idols. They can help themselves to grow more. Also, those who use social media report being more emotionally supported through their contacts, and as a result, they feel more like connected. So, youth well-being, we can say that youth well-being has become entangled with social media consumption.
The challenges, as long as to prevent partial essays, don't have to give it up entirely. There are numerous advantages to limiting social media usage rather than eliminating it altogether. Limiting social media up to 30 minutes per day in order to promote mental health. Keeping phone in handbag instead of pocket, charging it far away or heading to library to use a computer can all help keep phone out of sight while one is in class.
In this part, I will talk about opportunities for the growth. Social media can build a long-term relationship, so that's an opportunity. With social media, people can stay connected to anyone in the world, and with social media features, we can see their status and feel what are they feeling and react accordingly. So through this, anyone can build a long-term relationship. Next is sell on social media. With social media, people are doing many business. Also, they can promote their existing brand and so on. Then values and authenticity matter. Through social media, they can express their original thoughts. And also they are allowed to feel more confident and fight against the insecurities of themselves. Lastly, mental well-being. Sometimes social media cures many mental issues like combating loneliness, normalize help-seeking behavior. Also, these social connections increase self-worth and joy, which reduce feelings of stress, anxiety, and depression.
In conclusion, when it comes to sharing information with family and friends, many young people rely on social media sites like Facebook and Twitter. As the number of young people using social media grows, a new culture is being created. Social media can be used for a variety of purposes, including exchanging ideas and information with others, as well as building and maintaining personal connections. Social media has a significant impact on people's life. That's all from our group. Thank you.